Your first cruise can be amazing, but there are a few hustles you should know. My name's Gary Dean. I'm the Blue Hat Bucket List Traveler. Did over 34 cruises and 3.5 years, saw the world by cruise ship. And in that same period, I drove all 48 states and 10 provinces. Did a lot of traveling in the last 3.5 years. So when you first get on a cruise ship, depending on the cruise line, they might give you your key card, might show your status. Now on NCL, it's a bronze, they call it the bronze card. That signifies to all the crew and other passengers even that this is your first time, maybe not on a cruise ship, but for sure first time with NCL. So I like to kind of put this connect it to, say you were going to Las Vegas, right? Have you been to Las Vegas? You had a big sign that said, my first time here. You imagine Vegas has a learning curve, anywhere from the people on the street, hustling you, to the casinos, to the restaurants. They know you're there for 3 or 4 days. You've got money in your pocket and they want it. So that's how that's going to go. And the cruise industry is no different. You bought your cruise and wow, everything's included. This is fantastic, right? I'm not going to have to spend any extra money. Food's included, my coffee, my water, my juice, entertainment. I don't need any more money. So now you get on the cruise ship and this works like a credit card, right? Just tap, painless. Oh, I want a Starbucks. Oh, I want to buy pictures. Now there's an app, so you can check on the app, what's my charges, but before they used to say, go every day and get a printout, right, of your account just to see what's going on. And I don't think you should do it daily, but you should definitely have a look. You want to make sure somehow they're not putting things on your account that you didn't pay for. I've had things that weren't supposed to be there and things that were, and it's like a credit card statement. You need to check it. So okay, but now the hustles. For me, the first one is the photos. Pictures are roughly $30 per photo. Now they'll sell a package of $200, and there's different packages, but it's a lot of photos. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with all those photos. Going to get them done and put them in a folder, and they're going to sit and get dusty at home is my thinking on that. The one I buy is the embarkation photo, and I'll post because it shows the route map. It's a memory for me of that cruise, and I did 34 of them, so I've got different embarkation photos for those. Some cruise lines don't offer them, but if they did, I bought them. That's the one photo I buy, $30. My first cruise, though, I was with my mom, and so I wanted memories with her. We were even doing I paid for some specialty dining so we could have some, white tablecloths and some nice photos. But we were going to do our own photos. But all of a sudden, the NCL photographer shows up, and you're in the restaurant, and they start doing photos. And before you're done eating, they've appeared with the photos. They've got them done. They've put them they've made them ready for you to take home. Very, very hard to say no to, but you can. They're going to be downstairs available at the photo place. You can decide later, but a lot of times the upsell is right there, and that's a Vegas one too in the restaurant. So they've copied that. So that's one of the upsells. The specialty dining is an upsell. At the buffet and the main dining, they have different food. Most nights is different, so you get a very big variety, but they want to sell you the food packages. So that's one of the upsells, and you can do that or not. And I've done it on Celebrity. They have that one. It's like a cartoon show, and they do it on the table. It's pretty amazing. For me, I did that one not for the food, but for the show. If you're a foodie, of course, then you're probably going to want to do the fine dining, but I'm just saying it is an upsell, and it is, $50-$60 per person. So it can add up quite quickly. The other upsell is internet. Some cruise lines give you some minutes for free. So you might get 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day of free internet, which might be enough to just check your email or not. But otherwise, you're going to pay $35-$40 a day. And luckily now Starlink has come along, and the ships have mostly all upgraded to that. And so the internet is now, if you need it, it's worth it. It's pretty good. I use NordVPN, so I get to change where I'm at and do that kind of thing with it. And I buy the best they offer, and for me, Wi-Fi works good, but only if you need it. If you're if you're wanting to take a break from life, then, definitely don't get it, right? Or you're going to be on your gadget all the time. Some people like to disconnect. So next is excursions. Excursions can range anywhere from, $80 to $100 to, $400 or $500 if you're going to do fancy, jet skis and things like that. Excursions can really add up. So you need to be aware of what things cost. You can also check Viator and things like that for different options, different excursions where you're going. I tend to book with NCL because NCL, if you're on an NCL excursion, they won't leave without you. And so I like that concept. I have not been left in a foreign country with my passport still on a cruise ship, and that has happened to people. So it hasn't happened to me because I only book NCL, unless I have booked Viator when I wanted to see the beaches of Normandy and NCL. Some of the best tours sell out very quickly, so you don't have an option on that. Then I wanted to see them. I was going to be there once, and that was on my bucket list, and so I did go with Viator. And I felt okay because there was a lot of us on that bus from NCL, so I was, I'm still with my herd. I don't know if NCL would leave us, but there's a bunch of us, so their odds of them waiting for a bunch of us is probably pretty good versus if they're just missing me. But yeah, excursions can add up fast. If you've got 7 stops and it's $100 a person and there's 2 of you, you're at $1,400. And if you're bringing your kids, now you're paying for 4. And so you can just start doing the math on the upsells. It can get to be a lot of money. So how do you avoid the upsells? Well, first you have to learn to say no. And you can smile and say it. Just say, oh, sorry, no, not this time, and they might try twice, but in the end, you're a guest. So, you can just, there's a couple more I need to tell you about. Now, some more hustles. The NCL one, I saw a thing on posture. You can fix your posture. Of course, who wants to be a hunchback when you're 70, right? So I go to this posture seminar, and it turns out it's for these things that go in your feet. I was lucky. There was some people that were older than me there that did have some issues with balance and everything. So they were mostly focused on selling them, and that was like a $200 set of rubber things that slip in your shoes. I don't know if I did it. They did a big demonstration, and they used those people in the demonstration, luckily, so they were kind of probably felt more obligated to say yes. I just slipped out after the demonstration. And yeah, I had internet. I paid for internet. So if you Google, you can buy things a lot cheaper than those. I don't know about the qualities and what's amazing and what's not, but anyways, it's definitely a lot cheaper than $200 at Amazon for those kind of things. Now, the other one they got me with, you got the stomach that you can't seem to get rid of, the fatty stomach, who doesn't want a 6-pack? Abs, and you've got bloating, or you've got these things, and so it's like a detox. That's a magic word, right? Detox. So I go to that thing too, and they offered, if you went up to the gym, they had a diagnostic machine that could check a lot of things, and that was all included. That was a free thing to do. So I went from that seminar. I agreed to do that. I showed up to do that the next day. The guy wasn't very happy. He said, of all the people that were there, you're probably one of the few people that doesn't really need this. You seem to be younger and kind of fitter than most that were there, and it's free, and I want the diagnostics, right? So he does the diagnostics, and yeah, everything's looking good, and I figured that, I can always lose a couple, 2-5 pounds, why not? But for the most part, because of my diet, I have to eat pretty sensibly because of cholesterol and, those things that start to creep up on you as you get older. But then it turned into a pitch for vitamins. It was a vitamin, $600-700 vitamin supplement thing for, 3 or 4 months or whatever it was going to be. And so that was a hard no. So you need to be able to say no to these things. I just laughed and, oh, wow, yeah, no, not, and then, get 1 month or get a week or, he was pretty aggressive about it, but I just said no, and you need that ability to. I'm going to unfortunately see that guy a bit because I like to go to the gym, so it was a little awkward, but in the end, it's my money, and, do I see value in it? No, especially I like to do some research, and, I can probably buy those kind of things on Amazon for for not much money, right? You know, it's an upgrade. Now, the next one, the massage. I decided to try the massage. I spent 20 years in Asia. I get massages there for $15, you know. So I like massage. I do a lot of massage when I'm traveling in Asia, right? Why not? You know, it's a good way to relax, and it's very affordable. So, but on here, it's, you know, $250, and then there's an automatic 20%. And now that 20%, that's on every just about everything on here, the fine dining, everything. So you need to know that. That's in the fine print too, right? So if it's $100, it's really 120, which is quite a bit. And you're still expected to tip on top of that, really. You know, that is kind of, I don't know, it's like a ship charge or whatever that thing is. But so I go to do this massage, and it's already like $220, plus they're going to throw 20% on it. So we're almost at $300 for 75 minutes or whatever it is. But it is a real spa experience. Okay, let's just go there too. It's not just a massage. It's the whole ambiance. You know, you got the ocean view, the ocean's going by. It's professional. You know, they got special rocks, and you know, it's an upgrade. It's a spa experience, right? And if you've been to a spa, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, well, go to one day. I'm thinking she's probably pretty happy. This is $300. You know, I don't know what she's making on the $300, but I hope it's something. And there's 20% on it, you know, so that's all of a sudden she comes back and she's got like 3 bottles of different oils and things for a sore shoulder, or because I work at a laptop, I need some, you know, things here, and everything's like $60-$80, you know, like she tried to sell me basically another $200 worth of stuff, right? And I had to say no, thank you. But I did give her, like, you know, whatever, I'd give her $20 or $30 cash out of my pocket just as a thank you tip. But I was a little disappointed because it kind of took what I thought was a fun experience, and then she wasn't happy that I wasn't buying more, and I wasn't happy she was trying to sell me more. I wasn't expecting it. I've been to hairdressers where they try to, you know, they cut your hair and then they're trying to sell you all the gels. And do you remember those days? They make money on the product, while at the spa they're making money on the product. And then I ran into her somewhere on the ship, and she wanted, you know, did I want a haircut and a shave for $130? And I was like, no, I don't. I can shave myself for free, and I got a haircut before I got on the ship, so I don't need another one, right? So a lot of that's a big profit center for them. The other things is the art auctions are going to do, so you can figure out if you want to get involved in that or not. I got involved one time to the point of they gave me a free one if I went, so I went and got a little, you know, thing, and they said it's worth something, and I have no idea where it even is anymore. But after that, it was a lot of calls. It was a lot of, you know, are you coming? Are you going to do this stuff? Are you going to buy something? So it got tiring very quickly, so I opted out of that. The cruise next is something they're going to work on. Yeah, I get phone calls in the room. I get things in the mailbox from them, you know, and that's their job. That's one, though, that if you don't, that's like I've done in a previous video, that's a give them 500, get 1,000. So give them 5, make 5. That's, to me, pretty brain. That's a simple say yes to it. So how do you avoid those kind of things? You say no. That's it. There's no simpler way than that. And you can smile when you say it, and if they keep coming at you, just like any street vendor, eventually you don't smile anymore and you just say no. And I don't think I've had to do it on a cruise ship, but I've had to do it in other situations. I just say, I've said no 3 times, and I'm not going to say it a 4th time. And you give them the eyeballs, right? No smiles anymore. You just say, you know, I've said it 3 times. I'm not going to say it a 4th time. But hey, cruises are great if you understand the system, right? You know, they are here to sell things. This is a floating hotel. This is like, they've got gambling here even. So it's very much like Las Vegas, right? You can gamble. So Las Vegas is going to get a lot of money from you the first time you go there. You go buy a little ice cream in Caesar's Palace, see how much it costs you. Right? And that's like a cruise ship then. Same idea. So